Welcome to my channel. Today we will meet a man who turned his yard into a battlefield after being fined for having 3 chickens. This is the story of the revenge of the chicken farmer. It all started with a fine that was supposed to be a warning. Gary, a homeowner, lived in a peaceful neighborhood filled with families and children playing outside. It was the type of place where everyone knew each other and life was quiet and uneventful. That is, until Gary decided to break the rules. He always wanted to have fresh eggs every morning. You know, the kind of eggs that taste like actual eggs, instead of the tasteless pale things sold in supermarkets. So he bought 3 hens and put them in his backyard. He figured it was a pretty harmless hobby. They weren't noisy birds and they weren't a nuisance to anyone. Plus, they were in the backyard, so nobody could even see them from the street. So when Gary went to check on his chickens one day and found a letter slipped under his door, he was completely baffled. It was from the HOA, and it informed him that he had violated several bylaws by keeping chickens on his property. The letter stated that he had 24 hours to get rid of the birds or he would face a fine of $300. Gary couldn't believe what he was reading. He didn't think it was a big deal to have 3 chickens, and he certainly didn't expect such a harsh punishment. But rules are rules, and the HOA wasn't known for being lenient. So what was he supposed to do? He could have just paid the fine, gotten rid of the chickens, and moved on. After all, it was just a little mistake. But something in him snapped. Maybe it was the stress of the situation or the injustice of it all, but whatever it was, Gary didn't take the fine. Instead, he decided to fight back. What the HOA didn't realize was that they had just pushed him over the edge. Gary knew he couldn't win a battle with the HOA through conventional means. They had too much power and were too stubborn to listen to reason. But he had a secret weapon, something the HOA had overlooked: Gary's backyard. It was just an ordinary backyard, or rather it was extraordinary, at least in Gary's mind. The HOA had made it clear that they wanted total control over his property. Well, he would give them something they could never control. He would turn his backyard into something beautiful, something that would make them wish they had treated him better. And so the battle began. Gary spent every free moment planning and working on his backyard. He didn't have much money, so he did most of the work himself. He planted flowers, shrubs, and trees, creating a beautiful garden that attracted butterflies and birds. He built a small pond and installed a fountain, the sound of which could be heard from the street. He even put up some bird feeders and created cozy nooks for people to relax in. As Gary's backyard transformed into a beautiful oasis, the HOA became increasingly nervous. They had expected Gary to simply pay the fine and move on, but instead he was making his property even more attractive. They tried to intimidate him with fines, but Gary just laughed. Each fine was like a badge of honor for him. It motivated him to work harder and make his backyard even better. Months passed and Gary's backyard became a local attraction. People from all over the city came to admire the beauty and tranquility of his garden. The HOA was in panic mode. They had underestimated Gary and his determination to make the most beautiful backyard in town. To their dismay, Gary's backyard was just getting better and better. They tried everything to stop him, but nothing worked. In the end, they had to accept defeat and let Gary keep his chickens. From then on, the HOA left Gary alone, and he continued to enjoy his chickens and his beautiful backyard. He had won the battle, and now he could live his life the way he wanted to. As for the HOA, they learned a valuable lesson about picking their battles wisely. They had made a big mistake by trying to punish Gary for such a small offense. But sometimes, well, you just can't fight City Hall. Thank you for watching. Please like and share this video if you liked it. And don't forget to subscribe. We also have a channel where we share videos that could not be published here due to their adult nature. We'll see you there.